And it's like I just don't get the whole people are so offended by shit.
Yeah, look, it's What
had the big Mardi Gras on the weekend, didn't they? I forgot to watch it. It's going to be live on SBS.
Yeah, well, that's what it was like.
You got people that like enjoy it, then you got some that say they go too far because people take their kids there, and you got people in people in G-strings and leather and stuff hanging out and stuff. So
I can't remember. I think it was.
You know what I don't like though? I don't say I don't like it, but I don't think it's needed. Is now a lot of these kid shows where they're putting in same-sex couples and stuff because. Okay, later on in life, if you're whatever and you feel that way, and you get later on, you think, I feel different. But I never once, because I've had gay friends, and I asked them, I said, when you watch the Flintstones, when you were like 5 and 6, did you think this isn't right because it's Betty and Barney and Fred and Wilma? You didn't say, where's Fred and Ted? It's like, no, I wasn't even thinking about that when I was a kid. I was just watching the cartoon. So I think at a certain age, when you do realise, okay, you're a certain way, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13, your early teen years, you're different, then speak about it. But when they're putting them in younger kid shows where kids are just kids, they're watching a cartoon, they're not like, oh, look at the two female characters kissing. It's like, even at 4 or 5, they're like, okay, they'll see it, but they wouldn't understand it, so why you got to push it on them at such a young age type thing? It's like, just let them develop. Let them be kids and enjoy the cartoon. I never once said, well, I don't like this cartoon. And then when I watched Ernie and Bert, people are like, oh, when I was young, I never once thought, are these two gay? I was like, oh, bananas in pyjamas, are they gay? I never thought that. Now you think back, you go, well, maybe, are they? But when you're young, that's Ernie and Bert. They're just two mates living together. So I think they pushed the agenda a little bit too hard now. It's like, it's just, even with the women's feminist movement thing, and now this whole, we're going to have a first gay couple in this movie and first gay superheroes in this one, and I think the Marvel universe is going to have their first transgender couple kiss thing. I'm like, oh.
So what you're saying is you don't mind homosexuality as long as it's not rammed down your throat?
Pretty much, yeah. Like a cock. No, but even then it's like, to me it's like they're trying too hard.
I agree.
It's like when I watched that one of the last Marvel movies where it's just all about women. Towards the end, they're pushing it. Then they made that remake of Black Christmas because Rachel, my wife, loves that show. But this one was all about women, and through the whole thing it was just man bashing, and even a lot of the critics said that's all it was. And then with the new Terminator movie where that girl was there and you're going to have a child and the Terminator's going to kill a child, but then halfway through the movie, he's here for you, not the child. You're more than just a womb. You're like, oh, fucking hell, that's really... when it's... they're really going too hard on the agenda. It's like, it's too obvious. The all-female Ghostbusters tanked. Look, the new Charlie's Angels was shit. And it's like, dude, then that woman comes out, oh, it's because men didn't support it, men won't. So the other Charlie's Angels they liked with Lucy Liu and all them, but your movie sucked. And you got to remember too, women outnumber us men. So don't blame us for not going to watch a shitty movie. None of you fucking females went to watch the movie either because it sucked. And they had a thing on TV yesterday about J-Lo felt snubbed from the Oscars because of that movie Hustler, where she plays a dancer or a stripper. Yeah. It's like, that wasn't an Oscar-winning performance. Yeah. It might have been a good movie, but don't think you were snubbed. And then they said there was no female directors nominated this year. That's a snub. It's like, well, maybe out of all the movies that were made, the ones the females made were probably great movies, but the ones the men directed were probably that little bit better. It's not because you're a fucking woman, it's because your movie wasn't up to par of this guy's movie. I'd rather be a female and finally make a movie and get recognised for it for being a great movie rather than saying, the Academy goes, well, hey guys, we got 6 fucking males here, maybe we should drop one out and just throw fucking Sarah in just to keep them quiet. It's like, I'd rather win on my merits and here's a token award because you're a fucking female.
You got to feel sorry for these people that move in those insulated circles of that's the reason why we're getting all this, because in their little bubble all that stuff's really important, but out in the real world, like I've got 2 daughters and I'm trying to encourage them to not be pigeonholed or whatever. And I on YouTube one day I was looking up with them, you know, different jobs girls could do. And there was this girl in America working on trucks, and they had an issue with the truck. You know, it had like it might have been a garbage truck. It was a complicated issue, and the guys and specialists couldn't figure it out. And she sort of took it onto herself to you know, working outside hours, and she figured it out. And the guys were blown away, so much so that they've gone, well, hey, you know, these women are pretty good. Like, we'll start. That they got another one. That's how women get advanced, not by
exactly
like putting
not just putting in a quota.
No, but like they think these actors and whatever, they think they can change the world with their movies and stuff like that. But
that's why I liked what's his name, Ricky Gervais, when he said, "Just accept your award, thank whatever God it is, and fuck off."
Yeah, like that girl, you know, single-handedly, like, you know, like she's a true hero.
And that's what I said, she's a girl actually working on a truck, a good hard job. That's why when I always hear this pay gap between men and women, the women always bring up top positions. This CEO is getting paid this much to that CEO. It's like, why do you women never say this female plumber or someone concreter? Why aren't you women ever going for the normal type jobs? Why is it CEOs? I want to be a CEO. And then too, you know what I really hate is that women actually coming down on women. They said it. I was watching the other day. It was on the news. They're talking about men and women paying for stuff, and someone's like, you know, men like to pay and that, and someone's like, oh, how barbaric are we going back here and stuff like that. And there's women talking about they like being stay-at-home mums. If they can afford it, why not? And people are like, fancy doing that, you should be a strong woman and go out and be yourself. But some women like staying home with the children, educating the children, looking after the children, looking after the house. Some women like having their husband's meal come home when he gets home from a hard day's work. But yet these other women put them down like, oh, you're a stay-at-home mother, fancy doing that. And I've known people where they do have two jobs, and the woman's like, I want to be independent, I want to work. There was this one couple I knew where she worked, and all her wage, plus another 100 of his, had to pay for childcare. I was like, okay, you might want to be independent, but wouldn't that rather just be at home taking care of the kids? You'd be saving that money. And then you actually, you know, getting that interaction more with the children and stuff. It's almost like, well, I've had kids, I'm not giving up my life. Well, maybe you shouldn't have had the kids then. You know, having kids is a life-changing experience.
Yeah, well, look, and I can sort of comment as far as I got kids, and I regret every day that I haven't...
Having them?
No, I regret that
I
haven't spent enough time with them, but, you know, part of the reason is because Alison only works here part-time, and she spent... time with them, and honest to God, it's the you know, I
it's
think
heartening, isn't it, when the moment pulls up and they go, Mum, Daddy's here, Daddy's here. That's not your dad. That's the mailman.
Boyfriend Bruce. No, you know, I just think it's great that you know, she spent time, got to know their friends, which I think is important.
And the thing is too, you could probably really, if you broke it down, okay, things are going up, things are going up, and different housing is going up, but really, if you're to live within your means sometimes, and it depends where you live too, housing prices, but, you know, sadly these couples want the first house that has to be 800, 900,000, then they want to buy that nice car which is 150,000 Ford Raptor truck, and they want to live in a certain area. Then when they get married, they spend 60 grand on a wedding. It's like, they both have to work to pay all their bills, and then if one of them loses their job, they're fucked. But it's like, if you started off small, and then sometimes you'd be able to stay home and work with the kids, but now it's like, I don't know, but I find women sometimes are the worst against women when it comes to, oh, you're a stay-at-home mother. It's like, oh, don't you have any ambitions? Or it's like, what's wrong with being a stay-at-home mother? I would have no problem at all if she was on the other foot, and if my wife had a high-paying job that covered all the bills. I got no problem staying home. Well, I pretty much do it now. It's like, but I love staying home and cooking and cleaning, and I make her dinner. I make her fresh homemade pies, and then I do all the housework every day because I'm OCD. I vacuum twice a day, and I dust, and I do the laundry. I got no problem doing that. I don't feel any less of a person doing that.
And isn't it rewarding that you've got, you know, that...
And then she comes home from work and she's like, oh baby, the house smells so clean, it's nice and that, and I got her dinner ready, and we just sit down and watch TV and stuff like that. So sometimes you get these two couples working, they don't see each other all day, They get home late at night, then they barely have anything to eat, then they're in bed, then they're up early again, and it's just like they're passing each other. And then if one's on a shift type job where one, you know, could be at the mine somewhere and he works nights and she works days, you're just passing. And so you know, sometimes you've got to work out, you know, what you want in life and just have a good balance and quality of life. You know, then you got those ones that people that work all the time. I've had a few friends in America, multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Beautiful home, beautiful cars, have the world, but they never get to enjoy it because they're too busy stressing out, working and shit. And it's like, why have all that great stuff and you're never there? And they'll say, I'm never home. I was like, well, what's the point?
Yeah. No, it's definitely, look,
Is it your bed over here when you sleep here? You don't leave the warehouse?
No, well, it is pretty, well, we don't have, there's 5 of us that live in a unit. That's Sydney for you. And, could get a bigger...
But that's not many, you know. You talk to the Chinese and some others, they can at least fit 15 in there.
I probably could have got a bigger house, but like you say, you'd be stressing out. And
imagine.
For me, it's more important to have a nice home than a big house.
Exactly. And that's what I was even said. It's like, we see sometimes on TV, I'm like, that's nice. And we go, yeah, it's too big. Because if it's only Rachel and I and the cats, to me, 4 bedrooms would be the max. You know, I'd have our room and then even 3 or 4. I'd have like a room where it'd be like a movie room. But then I'd always have a room just for guests and then whatever. But you get these people that have these big homes. Like when you see those movie stars, was it that Spelling guy? Like a 47-room mansion with 20 bathrooms. I'm thinking just the upkeep and cleaning it, and then furniture in every room. I'm thinking why? Or they go and buy $1 million home in $30 million home in California, a $20 million home in Florida. It's like but it's investments. It's like I'd rather invest the money somewhere else that makes money. Because to me, it's like if I got one home, you only live in one home. If I live in California, I'd have a nice, modest house. If I want to travel to Florida, go stay in a nice hotel.
Yeah, that's my theory.
That's like, just stay in a hotel. You don't have to pay any upkeep, land rates. You don't have to have people doing the gardens and watching the place. It's like, but people have homes everywhere. Then they wonder why sometimes they go into debt or bankrupt and shit. I'm like, what's the point? It's like, I want to buy a jet. Oh, okay, I'll buy a jet. Why don't you just go and got the money, lease one? It's like...
Oh, well, that's it. It's like anything. It's just another form of addiction. And
even like I said, when I got friends, like even I make fun of Aaron when he buys a Rolex watch. Like, why? I said, okay, these S-Force ones, they're a couple of $100. They go up in price, but luckily I get them for free. I wouldn't buy a watch. And then someone like Aaron, when he has got the Rolex, and I say, what's the time? He goes, no. I said, look at that fancy watch. Because to me, I don't see the value in it. It's like whether it be clothing, a name brand clothing, or whether it's a watch. Okay, it's got the name Rolex, but what does it do? It's like, you look at it and get the time. Is it more just so other people see it and go, oh, look, I'm wearing a Rolex? And then I couldn't tell if it was fake or real anyway, so it's like, I just don't get the point. If I had the money to spend it on something like a $30,000 watch or some other silly stuff, or you see those women buying $10,000, $20,000 handbags, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. I don't see the value of that at all.
It's a sickness that is consuming modern society, and it's literally killing people.
I look at the young kids now. I've got to have the latest phone. I've got the latest phone. I've got to, Mum, but the iPhone 10 come out. I can't be seen with the iPhone 9 at school. It's like, it's a fucking phone. That's what you get to buy your fucking shitty Samsung one if you don't shut up. So I don't get it at all. It's like these name. I've never been into name brands from day one. Gee, I got some of my best shirts from Kmart off the $5 rack. Anything like that. If I go to shoe shops, I go to the clearance one. Like these ones I brought for $90, and how long I've had these red shoes for now? 2 years or more, and they're comfortable, still going strong. Sometimes the front here's coming down. I got to put another bit of super glue in it. But hey, I'm not into buying new shoes. I do have a new pair that I wear occasionally, but they always hurt my feet. So
I
don't care what they are. People are, you got Nikes. I'm like, well, I only brought them because they're $80. I didn't care if they were fucking Puma, Nike. If they're on the clearance rack, and they look good, I'll wear them. So sometimes you go to Kmart, they got some good joggers. I prefer sort of the bootish type, but even just the normal joggers. I see Kmart $15 and stuff. I'm like, they're not bad. I'd buy them, but while I've still got these, I don't need a new pair. So.
No, well, that's the that's how people get themselves enslaved.
Yeah.
They become addicted to consumption.
And the amount of credit card debt some people are in, because back in when I was younger, even you'd save for something. You'd like, okay, I like that. I'll put the money away, and when you go to get, you get excited, you get your money out, you go buy it. Now it's like, I can get that, put it on the credit card, put that on the credit card, and then the bill comes in. It's like, for years all you're doing is paying off interest. It's like.
Well, I like your one about the married at first sight one. The Sheilas with wanting to have the dream man, and all they've got is a part-time job and
exactly
3 bracelets on Afterpay. But look, $1 million.
The Pandora.
Yeah.
That's true though. It's like I don't get all that whole thing. It's like ridiculous. Like even. Me, I love cars. I got a Maserati, but would I pay full price for that? No. I go for an older model, second hand, at a good, reasonable price. It's like if I come into $1 million, I love an Aston Martin. And you're like, I could buy a new one, but I would not go. I like the Aston Martins around the 2009 range.
Yeah.
That year, and you can get them for maybe 70. And even then, I'm like, 70's a lot for a car.
Yeah.
Or should I just buy a brand new Mustang for 70? But when you see people spending hundreds of thousands on a vehicle, then I start thinking, you could have got a nice little house for the price of that car.
Yeah.